I don't know if he needs an apology. He needs Zelensky to recognize the position that he's in.
Which to you is what?
We're their patron. We're their best hope for the killing to stop and for them to emerge from this sovereign and prosperous. And we're also their best hope as a business partner. I mean, all Zelensky had to do today was put on a tie, show up, smile, say thank you, sign the papers, and have lunch. That's it. And he couldn't do that. And this followed 10 days of being difficult in private and now 1 day of being stupid in public.
This
did not.
That's a fact. All you had to do, my guy, you have no leverage. So however it shook down is how it shook down. But what happens is when you have no leverage, when you don't hold the cards, you coming in asking for something. Not even asking for something, asking for more, not even something, asking for more. And you start popping off at the mouth a little bit. Hey, when the cards get taken off the table and we shut the game and it's over with, you're at the mercy. You're at the mercy of the person with the cards. And that's what happened to it. And that's what happened to Zelensky. It got cracking. It got cracking a little too much for him.
Have to go down this way.
Okay.
And however you feel about why it started, why it's going on, who's right and who's wrong, we can help them in this and come out okay on the other side, and he's making it hard.
Now, first of all,
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I actually agree with Scott. And everything that he said was basically right.
Wow.
I know. I'm going to get killed on social media for admitting that, but so be it.
Follow through on something. And
he can't help himself but agree because it makes too much sense. It makes too much sense. It makes too much sense.
He is not.
Yeah,
so that was his point.
Well, I have a short answer on this.
Yeah,
so the short answer is the Trump administration believes that if Ukraine goes into business with the United States, that in and of itself is a security guarantee. If your interests become our interests, we're going to be interested in making sure our interests are secure. So it would have been wise for him to understand the economic deal, the mineral deal, is a security guarantee in and of itself. And he lost sight of that today in the argument. Premeditated.
I don't know.
I think Zelensky misplayed it in the room, and you can and we could disagree about J.D. Vance's position on it or agree on it.
Sometimes, man, when you come in there posturing, and come into a room, come into an environment, you acting like you got the big guns, you got the deep pockets, you got all that, and you don't, and we know you don't. We can see your cards. We know where your cards are at. Right, especially when Zelensky was like, you're basically lucky you got an ocean between you because you'll soon feel it. Trump was like, pause, stop, over with, stop, curtains. Let's close the book up. Who do you think you talking to? And it went up from there. I'm so glad that happened. And so glad that happened. And I'm so glad that happened. That's wild.
But either way, Zelensky certainly had been briefed on what the right way to handle this was. And all he had to do was walk in there and say, thank you. I'm really grateful to be here. We want to be partners with the United States. We're grateful for your leadership. Where's the papers? And what are we having for lunch? That's all he had to do. And look, the posturing doesn't have to occur now. If he is serious about wanting peace and ending this war, you don't have to keep posturing as a tough guy. Everybody knows you're tough, all right? The Ukrainians are tough. They're brave. They're fighting a much larger country. Everybody knows. The question for Zelensky is, can you take off the military uniform and put on the uniform of diplomacy? He failed the test today.
Enough said. Why Scott be hitting him over the head so hard at CNN? Damn, Scott. Come on, Doc. He be out there killing them, man. He be out there killing them. Jeez, exactly. If you coming with hat in hand, asking for a little something. If you coming with the hat in hand, asking for something, well, capitulate. You gotta capitulate, man. You gotta capitulate. You gotta probably, stroke, pause, Trump's ego a little bit. Thank you, appreciate it. Hey, we're grateful to be doing business with you. Appreciate all your help that you have done. Where's the documents at? How many minerals you want? What do you need? Cool. You say you're going to pay us some of this too? Cool. Perfect. Hey, we'll make it work. Signed, sealed, delivered. You get your check. And now it's got to be nasty work. And now if you want to come back to the table, they might hit you over the head for 20% more just for acting crazy out here. Come on, Zelensky, man, don't play it. Don't play yourself, dog.
But the fact that this thing about what Zelensky was wearing became an issue, let's do a little bit of a flashback. Here is J.D. Vance tweeting about this in 2023, and he says, look, I know Schumer changed the dress code, but letting someone in the Senate chamber dressed like this really crosses the line. It is amazing to me that this is even a conversation that we are having.
That's right. And it is just a total fall into the Trump reality television show that was his plan from the beginning. He is a top marketing. I would say he would run a phenomenal agency, social media agency as well. But the fact that this is what continues to get airwaves and real estate in our minds when it comes to the fact that we are now regressing back to another chapter in the Cold War is so stunning to us. Churchill came to the White House during World War II in his military garb. We have seen our elected officials go to post-natural disaster zones wearing windbreakers. Zelensky is in the middle of a war, and it is fully appropriate.
I actually think that Churchill analogy, first of all, it's been made
So what?
before.
Okay, who cares, bro? You want money from us? Come correct, bro. Everybody's in suits, bro. Just come correct. Come correct. You better cross your T's, dot your I's if you want some bread, my guy. Cross your T's, dot your I's if you want some bread and some more guns, some bullets, and all that. Cross your T's, just dot your I's, man. Don't play yourself, bro. You playing yourself. Should it be a big deal? No, it shouldn't, because you should have wore. You should have came correct. That's a fact.
And when the war started, a lot of people said that he was channeling a sort of Churchillian aesthetic by basically signaling to his people as their commander-in-chief that they were in a war, right? And now it's become, I think for the right, a symbol that he is cosplaying as a military hero when he's not.
Well, let's talk about what's most important.
Well, this guy even talks.
Was
Yo, think about this, man. I'm in the financial industry for years. Okay. You want somebody to write you a check, you better look like you can accept a check. You want somebody to write you a check, you better look like you can accept the damn check. Don't play yourself, bro. Don't play yourself. Should it be really that big of a deal? No, bro. But should you just come correct anyway? Right? It wouldn't even be a topic of discussion if you came correct. You already know Trump gonna nitpick. Come on, man. Don't play yourself.
disgraceful, disgusting, disrespectful, dangerous, and bad.
That he is cosplaying as a military hero when he's not.
Well, let's talk about what's most important. That was disgraceful, disgusting, disrespectful, dangerous, and bad for not just Ukraine, but bad for American national security. It felt un-American. It felt traitorous. I've never seen a reaction from veterans of all backgrounds like I have in the last couple of hours to that disgusting, demoralizing display. So I don't even want to focus too much on what was worn. I want to focus on what was said and what happened. And that was a real low point for American leadership. And right now, it also, importantly, to focus on, makes America less safe. Our allies are less supportive. We have more people around the world who hate us. And America, in my view, hasn't been this isolated since I and many others invaded Iraq.
What? Oh, man, bro, this is crazy. All right, dude. Come on, bro. Somebody comes up in your house, okay, right? They come in your house, you know what I'm saying? They don't take their shoes off at the front door. You know what I'm saying? They go in your fridge. They go in your fridge. You know what I'm saying? They pull out the lunch meat, man. They make a sandwich and they put their feet up on your table. That's basically what happened, at least in my opinion. That's what it looked like to me. Like, come on, man. Don't play yourself, bro. Don't play yourself. Don't let this. I don't know. I mean, Paul. I don't even know who this guy is, but like, if anybody's feeling disrespected by that, it's because you asking your tax dollars, whoever this guy is, his tax dollars are going to pay for this too. Just like mine, just like, you know, if you're in America watching this video and you're paying taxes, well, guess what? Your money's going to that. So do you feel okay with your money to go into a situation like that? I don't know, man.
That's what we have to focus on, is that America is less safe today because of that.
Yeah, I don't think people care about the clothes. This is something that people have talked about with Zelensky since the start of the war. He's typically worn the military fatigue, and people have talked about that. Washington, D.C.
Just to be clear, I don't want to interrupt you. But
I don't want to
please
interrupt
continue,
you, but I am going to interrupt you. Very interesting.
The reporting is that this was a problem for President Trump, that it set the tone for their meeting, which is why we're talking about it, because it actually had an impact on how they conducted this meeting.
So the good thing is that everybody saw at the beginning, the conversation, that joking that Donald Trump said, he said he looked nice. I actually thought that Zelensky, as opposed to the fatigue, I thought he looked good in what he had on. Donald Trump pointed that out. But it also, in that exchange in the Oval Office, he even joked about the fact and said that I think he looks nice. That's literally what Donald Trump said. Now, I thought that the reporter's question actually was just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know who the guy is.
It is Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend.
Well, so you're using your time to ask questions about clothes?
Yeah, but
Okay, they're talking about clothes. All right, at the end of the day, why are they worried about the dude's clothes? I don't know. My man Zelensky should have came in a suit, should have came ready to accept a check. Scott Jennings said it perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Look, come through. They already told him what was going to happen. He knew what the deal was. He just wanted to make sure he got his little jab in there so he can make himself feel better about the situation. When at the end of the day, you know what'll feel better? Not having your country blown the hell up. That'll feel better. You know what'll feel better? Being able to protect yourself. That'll feel better. You know what'll feel better? Not bringing a freaking knife to a damn bazooka fight. That'll feel better. But, you know, F around and find out, man. It's crazy out here. It is crazy out here. Wow, that's interesting.
And my source tonight is the Secretary of State, who is in that room today, Marco Rubio. Thank you so much, Secretary Rubio, for being here. We just heard from President Zelensky. He said he does not think that he owes President Trump an apology for what happened inside the Oval Office today. Do you feel otherwise?
I do, because you guys don't see, you guys only saw the end. You saw what happened today. You don't see all the things that led up to this. So let me explain. The president's been very clear. He campaigned on this. He thinks this war should have never started. He believes, and I agree, that had he been president, it never would have happened. Now here we are. He's trying to bring an end to this conflict. We've explained very clearly what our plan is here, which is we want to get the Russians to a negotiating table. We want to explore whether peace is possible. They understand this. They also understand that this agreement that was supposed to be signed today was supposed to be an agreement that binds America economically to Ukraine, which to me, as I've explained, and I think the president alluded to today, is a security guarantee in its own way, because we're involved. It's now us. It's our interests. That was all explained. That was all understood. And nonetheless, for the last 10 days, in every engagement we've had with the Ukrainians, there's been complications in getting that point across, including the public statements that President Zelensky has made. But they insisted on coming to D.C. This agreement could have been signed 5 days ago, but they insisted on coming to Washington. And there was should have been a very clear understanding. Don't come here and create a such scenario where you're going to start lecturing us about how diplomacy isn't going to work. President Zelensky took it in that direction, and it ended in a predictable outcome as a result. It's unfortunate. That wasn't supposed to.
F around and find out. Where's the F around and find out meter? Come on, bro. F around. Why you want to take it there, dog? First of all, if this deal could have been done days ago, 5-10 days ago, what are we talking about? You should have you would have had your money already. What are we talking about? Bro, enough said. Look, let's listen to some more, man. Marco Rubio out here killing the game.
To be this way, but that's the path he chose. And I think, frankly, sends his country backwards in regards to achieving peace, which is what President Trump wants at the end of the day, is for this war to end. He's been as consistent as anyone can be about what his objective is here.
Can you tell me again how a CBT Nugget subscription actually saves me money? Your subscription gives you...
But what specifically do you want to see President Zelensky apologize for?
Well, apologize for turning this thing into the fiasco for him that it became. There was no need for him to go in there and become antagonistic. Look, this thing went off the rails. You were there, I believe. It went off the rails when he said, let me ask you a question to the vice president. What kind of diplomacy are you talking about? Well, this is a serious thing. I mean, thousands of people have been killed, thousands. And he talks about all these horrible things that have happened to prisoners of war and children, all true, all bad. This is what we're dealing with here. It needs to come to an end. We are trying to bring it to an end. The way you bring it to an end is you get Russia to the table to talk. And he understands that attacking Putin, no matter how anyone may feel about him personally, forcing the president into a position where you're trying to goad him into attacking Putin, calling him names, maximalist demands about Russia having to pay for the reconstruction, all the sorts of things that you talk about in a negotiation. Well, when you start talking about that aggressively, and the president's a deal maker, he's made deals his entire life, you're not going to get people to the table. And so you start to perceive that maybe Zelensky doesn't want a peace deal. He says he does, but maybe he doesn't. And that act...
He don't want a deal. If you don't want a deal, then you're just going to stretch the situation out even further. And it is interesting, you are in a weak spot, my guy. You're in a weak spot, Zelensky. It's nasty work. It's nasty work out here posturing. Rubio's plan is great. I mean, I understand what Caitlin Collins has to do. You know what I mean? I get it. She has to play that side of the ballpark, I guess. But she's just asking, what does he need to apologize for? Because he effed it up. If anything, Zelensky should be apologizing to his own country. Like, yo, my fault. My fault. I'm gonna just take this one on the chin. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one real quick, and it'll end there. But man, this is such a sucky situation for Ukraine, to be honest with you. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It's not up to us to protect them. It isn't. It isn't up to us to do that, right? And if you don't want get the help from here, from the United States, which the United States is the only one offering options at this point, only one coming to the table to be like, look, we got this option for you. Ain't nobody else saying they got no options. Don't nobody else got their military up to par to help you out. The United States has been the one footing the bill for the military, protecting all these other countries, protecting Europe, and doing all those things so everybody else can talk all big and bad, right? And have a little extra, have some bread in their pocket, right? Because the United States puts money into the military. Everybody wants to rely on the United States to pick up the slack. Well, the United States pulls out and says, well, pick up your own damn slack. Well, guess what? You know what I'm saying? That slack is heavy out there if you got them noodle ass arms. So, it's nasty work, and you got to figure it out.
Open undermining of efforts to bring about peace is deeply frustrating for everyone who's been involved in communications with them leading up to today. And I think we should apologize for wasting our time for a meeting that was going to end the way it did.
You yourself have said previously that Putin cannot be trusted in negotiations. That was the point that President Zelensky was ultimately making during that conversation, is that there cannot be an agreement without security guarantees, because he was talking about all the ceasefire agreements before, or agreements that Putin has just blown past. I mean, do you still feel that way, that Putin cannot be trusted in these negotiations?
Well, I was there yesterday when the president said in front of the media that our approach is going to be trust but verify. President Trump's made deals his entire life. He's not going to get suckered into some deal that's not a real deal. We all understand.
All right, we get that. All right, so look, let's come on, bro. Trust but verify. Obviously, you can't trust nobody until you verify what the deal is. To be honest, how much can we really trust Ukraine at this point? You know what I'm saying? You come down here, you should have signed the deal 5 days ago. You'd be like, we want to come there and just, chop it up and check it out. You blow the deal up in the face. You blow the deal up, right? The deal gets blown up. You start regretting it. You want to come back into the White House. President's already off to Mar-a-Lago at that point. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, if you need help and want some help from a country in the tunes of hundreds of billions of dollars, right? Think about that. Rubio said it perfectly. Look, we want to get tied together in financial interests, which will show if we're tied together, right? If the United States, Ukraine are tied together financially, don't you think we want to protect that? Do what we can to protect that? That financial interest is protection, because nobody's going to step on the bag. Just keep it a stack. If anybody wants to come close, we'll check that out. But come on, man. Come on, Caitlin. You didn't have to ask the same question like 3 times in a row. Like, what are we doing? But go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, check it out. Put some comments in there and go. And we appreciate you for getting us a cup of coffee. We appreciate that to support the channel. Without any further ado, hey, Rational Reactions. Peace.